Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the Pixel 6 Pro, and I'm curious about something. I'm curious whether there might be poor quality control or maybe a bad batch of maybe chips, the tensor chips, that's causing the problems with the phones. Because it's very, very random and it's very, very narrow. It's not something that's a completely worldwide phenomenon. Everything is messing up. So I'm going to put my investigator hat on here real quick. And this was spurred tonight. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, but there was a tweet that was put out by MKBHD this evening, and he says, "My Pixel 6 Pro has gotten so buggy since launch in October that I can no longer recommend it at $900. Combined with the latest botched update, it's been a bad experience. My SIM card is back in my S21 Ultra till the next review." That's a pretty glaring thing from the top, basically, tech authority in the YouTube space. He says issues he's having are lots of small annoying things. Display constantly drops way below 120 hertz on the refresh rate. Fingerprint sensor is still slower than the rest. The lock screen and auto brightness bug out all the time. And the camera app has started to slow down. So those things, according to him, make it where his phone is unusable. I think most people probably don't have that same opinion, but I'm not going to undercut his experience because we know that there are people having issues. We know people are having signal issues, Wi-Fi connectivity issues, signal strength issues, connection stuff across the board, battery stuff. Some people are complaining of low batteries. Some people are complaining about overheating. There's a lot of different things here that people are saying across the board are affecting either their Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 Pro. I have both of them. I have one that's running the December update. I have one that's running the November update. And substantially, both of them seem to be running okay for me. So I have to look at this objectively and also critically at the same time because I'm getting a wide range of comments from people saying, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, it's unusable. And then the very next comment, someone's saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with mine. What are you people complaining about? So there are two different things I think that are going on here. One, I think there are legitimate issues. I know people who are tech reviewers, who are very experienced phone people, who are saying, yes, I am having signal issues. It drops calls all the time. Every time I make a phone call, 15 seconds into it, it drops. It's unusable to the point that I have to switch to another phone. I get that. That is the primary peak concern, is the connectivity issues, because if you can't make phone calls, if you can't connect to the internet, what good is having a phone, right? So we know this. Google has definitely admitted that this is a problem, and they have said they're addressing it in the update. And the update seems to be problematic too because, well, it's already been pushed back. All we've had is the original November update. This phone came out at the end of October, like the 27th, I think. And then we got the November patch, and then it's like, okay, everything's hunky-dory until it wasn't. And then it's, the sky's falling and we're having problems, which is, of course, it's just, a little bit of hyperbole because so many people are saying their phones are perfectly fine. And I think that might be part of why it's difficult for Google to track this down. I don't know that there's one uniform thing that's triggering all of these problems. Is it a bad modem? Is it bad connectivity or bad compatibility with the modem and the chipset? Is it a bad tensor chip? Is it something else on the board in the quality control process? I don't know. And I'm not sure that Google knows, which is probably one of the reasons why they gave themselves so much time to get this update out. Originally, that it was supposed to come out, they said, later in December. They started to roll the update out, and then they paused it because people were experiencing even more problems. People who weren't experiencing connectivity problems all of a sudden had connectivity problems. Some people that had them already were experiencing worse problems. So it's one of those things where you have to look at it and go, what is going on here? And I just made a video yesterday about how the Pixel 6 has changed things. And it has in a hardware and a pricing and performance perspective. And I think some of the things we can look to expect out of phones. But then you also have this little issue hanging around in the air that makes it still hard for some people to recommend the phone because it's not really complete. We're waiting on this software update that's supposed to fix all of these things. Just a little synopsis. It's supposed to fix about 100 different things on Android 12 for the Pixel phones, specifically over 60, probably more than that now, for the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. By and large, most people are having an enjoyable experience. But there's enough of a problem, there's enough of an anomaly, there's enough of certain issues hanging out there that it puts a question mark around it for people who are concerned about the phone. I know people who want the phone who are holding off waiting for this update to see if it gets fixed. I know people who are contemplating returning the phone and then waiting for this update to see if it fixes things. And we don't even have a hard and fast date. We just have later in January. So hopefully Google can get this out sooner than later. But it really is a significant issue being highlighted when MKBHD, arguably the biggest tech guy out there, especially in YouTube, says, I'm not going to use this phone anymore until it gets fixed. I'm moving back to my S21 Ultra. So my guess is that he's done with the phone completely, because if somebody's going to pass on like that, he's got so many other phones. He's probably got the S22 already. I wouldn't doubt it. So it's probably a nice segue for him. Most people probably, I think there is a certain level of education here. A lot of people probably don't understand or recognize if your phone is dropping frames or dropping the refresh rate. A lot of people probably may not even be experiencing, dimming and brightness issues or issues with the lock screen. I don't know. There's such a myriad of problems. You can point to probably 10 different Pixel phones that have problems, and they're not experiencing the same problem. It's really an odd situation, because typically, if you have an iPhone that has a problem, if you have a Samsung phone that has a problem, they all experience this uniformity of, okay, look, this is one defining problem that is quickly addressed. And this is, it's a lot of stuff, right? So again, I have two of them. I'm running the November and the December update. Not really noticing a whole lot of issues. They're very usable for me on a day-to-day basis. The biggest frustrations, of course, I had were some apps that were crashing due to compatibility issues. I also had a couple system UI crashes back in the day. Every once in a while, my drop-down screen would get kind of frozen up and it wouldn't go back. And I don't know, maybe some signal stuff. There wasn't a whole lot. Like, I didn't have a huge lot of problems with mine. And since I put the December update on my Pixel 6, it's basically fixed like 95% of any issues that I had. So I do believe that this fix is going to fix things. I have a lot of confidence in the phones. I do love the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but this is something that people need to know about. And you wonder why do you keep talking about this? Well, there's a lot of people who are very closely following this, because a lot of people want these $599 Pixel 6s. A lot of people want these $899 Pixel 6 Pros, but they're holding off, they're waiting. And then as we're sitting here in this holding pattern, you have MKBHD throw this, smoking turd out on the table that gets everybody's attention and makes you think, if this guy is going to ditch his Pixel phone, is it that bad? Is he blowing it out of proportion? Is it something that really isn't that big of a deal that he just wants to highlight to maybe cast shade at them? I don't know. I'm not going to question the man's motives. I don't know what's going on in his mind. All I know is what I can report from his tweet, that he says, hey, look, I'm having these issues, and it's enough that I don't want to use the phone. And that's not just him. I know several other tech creators that are like, look, I'm having significant signal issues, and I'm not going to use this phone until it gets fixed. So there are real issues. People are having problems. That's something that is verified. It is documented. There's like a blue verified check mark next to it. So if you're not having issues, that's great. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. But this is just another thing in this saga of the phone needs to get fixed quickly by Google. And hopefully as soon as this update drops, whenever, towards the end of January, then it will fix all the problems. And then life will be good, will be copacetic, effervescent, and we will maintain status quo and all that good stuff. Like, life will be good in the Pixel world. So that's all I've got in this video. But it's so curious, because you can't really pin down one exact problem that's impacting all the phones or one defining root cause. I think it might be the tensor chip. Like that, I think that might be it. I think maybe there might be a bad batch of tensor chips out there that maybe Samsung botched it when they made them. But either way, maybe there's a problem with the tensor chip. Maybe there's also some software stuff. I think that's a lot of what it is. I think maybe there might be some tolerances, some variances, some issues with the tensor chip. And then, of course, you kind of have to reprogram some stuff for a different processor than the Snapdragon that Google's used to using. I think they might have underestimated that. And maybe that might be the underlying cause here. I don't know. So, I don't know. What do you think? Are you having issues? Are there any problems or concerns that you have? Are you on the fence waiting to get one of these and waiting for Google to iron it out. Let's talk about it. Go down to the comment section and sound off there. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.